Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Ask Eric the Conductor. My name is Eric, and today we have two questions. And the first one comes to us from Tim in Toronto. I know Tim. What's the piece you've most regretted programming in a concert? Okay, this is, this is a little bit of a loaded question. I don't know if I've ever regretted programming anything in a concert. There's a saying that when people say, what's your favorite piece of music that you'd love to conduct? And as conductors, we always say, it's the piece that we're performing right now or that we're conducting right now, because we get so into the music of that week or whatever it is that we're conducting. But in terms of this question, like I said, I'm not sure if I regretted programming music because, you get so into it, but there have been a couple of times where with some contemporary new music where the composer it's the first time ever presenting this work. And like anything, after you've done it a few times, you work out the kinks, here and here. And it might not have been one or two times where it might not have been what it could be. And I'm not putting down the composer or the work at all. It's usually a great work. I love exploring new music. But once in a while, there's some tweaks that need to be done. And you try to make those within the rehearsal process, especially if the composer is there. That's wonderful. But sometimes you just don't have time. Sometimes, I try to give as much time to new music as I do to the other works as well, but you've only got a certain amount of rehearsal hours before that concert. So that's one instance where it's not necessarily regretting, but there could have been more done in advance, or just it needs tweaking. That's all. Good. I think I got myself out of that one. No, not at all. I think the second question is from Julie in Saskatoon, and it says, are there certain composers or pieces you find challenging to conduct? Good question, Julie. Sure. There are certain pieces and composers that are challenging for different reasons. You have your big symphonic work composers like Gustav Mahler. He wrote 9.5 big symphonies with massive orchestras, or Richard Strauss, these massive tone poems, where you need to be. They're challenging because you have to put everything together, and the trumpets over there might not hear the first violins, and you've got to line everything up and make sure it all is all in order. But those are very detailed. The composer asks for a lot of different things, crescendos, decrescendos, climaxes, all that, so you know what to do, and we all work on it together, and we get those details worked out, and musically as well. There's a lot of information that you can convey and work those out. Sure, they take a bit more time because they're just massive works. But in terms of challenging to conduct, I have often found in my career music from the Baroque era, or music that there's a lot of room for interpretation. Baroque composers, this is the era around 1650 to 1750. That's very vague. Bach, for instance, was born in 1685, died in 1750, but somewhere in there. Like we have Bach, we have Vivaldi, we've got Handel, those kind of composers. Back in those days, they didn't write too much in the music, so there's a lot of room for interpretation. You get to study all the different ways it was done back then. But over the years, these ways have been challenged, and they have developed and evolved so that there are many different ways to perform this music. And when you come together with your ideas, plus the orchestra as well, and this person might think, no, that is not the way you do it. This is the way you do it. You can get a collection of very strong opinions. And I like to be collaborative, or try to be as collaborative as possible when conducting, so that we can all bring our ideas. Of course, it's not possible to do that all the time. You need to make those decisions. But that's an area, Baroque, like Bach, and those where You have to be very convincing and very solid in what you want and how the others react to that to bring those ideas across. So, Julie, I hope that answers your question. And thank you, Tim, for the other one. And we will see you next time on Ask Eric the Conductor. Okay.